Okay, in the last video, we covered a basic drill with the band across in the front of the squat rack, pulled tight for that testing of the Sanchin arm posture. That's one way to do it, and with it having the band at the end, that creates torsion. So we actually have torque when we lead with the elbow whenever we're trying to get in that proper Sanchin arm position, and having that adduction of the elbow. Remember, adduction, ADD, goes towards the center line. Abduct typically goes away from the center line. So what I'm going to do here is I have that same band that I had hooked up earlier, and you can use this without, a strap like this, but I put a strap on here. What you're going to do is put the strap at the elbow. So another way you can test the structure to see if you're adducting with the elbow with minimal chest involvement. It needs to be minimal, because if you're actually pulling across your center line and flexing your chest, that's improper. So I would put this strap at the elbow and move out here, set my position, and I would go ahead and lead with the elbow and have that turn in. Now, if it doesn't allow me to come across, I just step over a little bit. So whenever I come across, then I create that radial deviation with the thumb, which, remember, goes towards the radius, and keep that torsion the entire time. What I can do is once I hit that position, I can test it by moving away from it to see if I'm actually using the proper tendons and ligaments and minimal muscle usage. There's no such thing as using zero muscle, because otherwise we don't move. But there's efficiency. There's two things. There's something called intramuscular coordination, which is the muscle, an individual muscle, how much it activates whenever you're using it. Then there's intermuscular coordination. That is a combination of muscles working together to form a task. So we want to be efficient on our intra and our intermuscular coordination. So once again, I might get in the position over here, keep the band lax, have that on the elbow, get in my proper Sanchin position, create that torsion at the wrist, and start moving away to see at what point it might break down, or I'm starting to activate the chest more. This could cause a little bit of cramping in your rear, the rear part of your rotator cuff, and that's kind of normal if you're actually trying to actively push across. So what you would do is you would just relax for a minute or two, and then you would do that again. So if you wanted to use this as kind of a structural strengthening exercise, you would get in that position, and it's isometric in nature. So you're holding the position under load. So I would come across, create my position, I would move, and then I would hold it for a length of time to create that. And if you do it incorrectly and the shoulder is back and not protracted, you'll feel, the chest flex, and you'll feel other muscles engaged other than what's supposed to be there. So that's one other method you can use for the band. Something you can also do is I can use the band all the way up towards the wrist. So it's pulling this way. So I would do the opposite side, that is from the band, or where it's connecting. So what I would do is I would create my position, and I would hold here. So it's pulling directly at the wrist, and I could also do at the elbow, so it's pulling inward to help the position to get that arm where it needs to be. Because it should never be straight on. It should never be curved in. It shouldn't just be out to the side like this either. You want to create that that protraction. We want to have that elbow slightly in, and we want to keep that radial deviation. So once again, I can step and keep that position. You're going to notice that you're going to be stronger coming from this direction, from the inside, than you are from it pulling towards the outside. And then you can test it even further by going to the wrist and doing the same thing. And you'll feel it in different spots there, because you're actually going to feel this a lot in the rear rotator cuff and the rear delt, or the posterior delt. Now, you don't need to use a super heavy band or anything. I like to use this band, or I go one band up, which one band up is this band here. So this red one is one up, and it's considerably more stronger than this. So this is a 1/2 inch versus a 1/4 inch on here. So there's another two basic ways that you can do it. Here, attach at the elbow. You can actually just do reps there, trying to bring that elbow in and helping that there. Now to really help pull the elbow in, using external resistance, have the band across the arm here, and it will pull inward.